When my sister told me the wedding had collapsed, I felt the world tilt beneath me. I clutched the phone tighter. "What truth?" I whispered, afraid of the answer. Her voice shook. "Michael found out Clara wasn't who she said she was." My chest tightened. I sank onto the couch, hand trembling against my cheek. She continued, "A neighbor sent Michael photos of Clara with someone else 2 weeks ago. Her mentor, her boss, the man she always talked about with too much admiration in her eyes." My breath hitched. "So it's true," I whispered. "She was—" "Yes," my sister said. "She was cheating." The image of Clara smirking at me the night before cut deeper now. She had told me I wasn't part of the family while she was betraying it. But the story went deeper, far deeper. As the guests filled the church that morning, whispers started spreading like wildfire. Clara's maid of honor, nervous, teary, and a bit tipsy, let slip a truth she should have kept buried. Clara hadn't just been unfaithful. She'd been calculating. Her family's finances were crumbling. Debts, lawsuits, failures they'd hidden behind designer clothes and forced smiles. Clara's engagement to Michael wasn't love. It was a strategy. A way out, a way up, a way to use my son's future as a lifeline. And that prenup she insisted on was designed to funnel Michael's future income into her family's pockets. A quiet trap in legal language. When Michael's best friend showed him the photos, the world he'd planned collapsed. He stormed into the bridal suite, shaking, pale, devastated. I could picture it so clearly. Clara turning with a glowing smile. "Sweetheart, are you ready?" Then, Michael holding up the phone. "What is this?" Her expression faltering, her voice trembling with fake innocence. "It's not what it looks like." "It's exactly what it looks like." His voice cracked. The bridesmaids froze. The makeup artist stepped back. Even Clara's mother paled. And then, her mistake. "I'm blaming you," Clara screamed. "Your mother is turning you against me. She's jealous. She's been poisoning you for months." Michael's voice broke, but this time with anger, not fear. "No," he said, his breath shaky. "You erased her long before today." Her mask shattered, her confidence snapped, her voice turned shrill. She begged, cried, lied, then begged again, but the truth was stronger. By 11:15, the church was chaos. Guests whispering in pews, checking phones, glancing toward the closed bridal room door. Then Michael walked out alone. He didn't walk toward the altar. He walked past it. He announced, "There will be no wedding today. I have been betrayed." Gasps, cries, shocked whispers. Some reached for their phones. Others stared at him with wide eyes. Clara's father stood up, enraged, yelling that Michael would regret this decision. But my son, my boy who had weathered every storm with me, stood tall. He said, "She humiliated herself." I wasn't there, but the image burned into my mind. And while I sat alone in my living room, phone pressed to my ear, part of me ached for him, for the heartbreak he didn't deserve. But beneath that sorrow, something else stirred. Not revenge, not triumph, just truth. But Claire wasn't done, not even close. Because when people like her lose everything, they don't go quietly. And what she did next would drag me into a storm I never asked for and never expected. I thought the storm would end after the canceled wedding. I thought the truth, once exposed, would finally let my son breathe. But people like Clara, they don't crumble. They claw. By evening, social media was on fire. Clara posted a photo of herself in her ruined wedding gown, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Caption: "Some mothers just can't let go." Thousands of strangers comforted her. Thousands more judged me without ever knowing my name. And then the whispers reached my neighborhood. Did she really sabotage her son's wedding? Why would a mother do that? Poor Clara. Imagine what she's been through. I wanted to scream the truth, but Michael begged me to stay silent. Mom, don't give them fuel, he whispered. The people who matter know the truth. But the truth didn't stop what happened next. 2 days later, I received a letter. Cold, sharp, legal. A threat. A lawsuit. Accusing me of defamation, of emotional damage, even of interfering with contractual expectations. I stared at the paper, my fingers trembling. They wanted to scare me into silence. They wanted to bury the truth under threats. When I brought the letter to my friend Linda at the law office, she skimmed it, scoffed, then shook her head. They're bluffing. They're terrified. That prenup, it wasn't protection. It was a financial trap. They needed Michael's income to survive. That was the moment everything clicked. Clara didn't break my son's heart for love. She did it for money, for survival, for greed. And now that their perfect plan had exploded, they were desperate enough to turn me into the villain. But fate wasn't done with them. Days passed, and every hour seemed to bring a new blow from Clara's family. Anonymous messages calling me names, emails warning me to fix the damage, even threats to Michael's new job. One evening, he came to my house, pale, shoulders heavy, holding a letter of his own. Mom, he whispered, voice trembling, they're threatening to ruin you unless I publicly clear Clara's name. I told them no. I told them to never contact you again. I crossed the room and hugged him, holding him the way I used to after nightmares when he was a little boy. But this nightmare wasn't over. That night, lying awake, Clara's voice echoed in my head. In this world, perception is everything. If perception was her weapon, then truth would be mine. I gathered everything, emails, documents, screenshots in that twisted prenup. With Linda's help, I took it to a financial journalist who specialized in exposing corruption. Within a week, the story hit the news. Canceled wedding revealed hidden financial scheme. Clara's family wasn't prepared for that. Their secrets, their bankruptcies, their manipulation, all dragged into the light. The comments online flipped overnight. She wanted his paycheck. That poor mother. She raised him alone. Clara's family is a mess. Good thing he escaped. For the first time in months, I felt breath in my lungs again. Michael began healing too. He threw himself into work. He started smiling again. Real smiles, not the forced ones he wore with her. One evening, as we sat quietly on the porch, he looked at me with soft, tired eyes. Mom, he whispered, I'm sorry you had to go through all this. You didn't deserve any of it. I squeezed his hand. You see the truth now. That's all I ever wanted. The night before his wedding, Clara told me I wasn't part of the family. But she was wrong. Family isn't decided by ceremonies, paperwork, or perfect smiles. It's decided by loyalty, by truth, by who stays when the world falls apart. And she she walked away. But my son, he walked back toward me. And in that moment, I realized something powerful. I hadn't lost a family. I have protected it.